Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of She's Doing All Right. My name is Sarah. I'm your host. And today I have a very special guest on. Her name is Sam Periard. She's a co-host of Girl Dinner. She's also a motivational speaker. She is a mom, a wife, a mother. Well, I said mom already, but you get the gist. She's a busy lady, an accomplished lady. And I wanted her to come on and talk about the expectations that we put on ourselves and that society puts on us as mothers. We talk kind of about everything. We discuss a little bit about age gaps in kids. We have iron deficiencies. She gives some really good tips on that. We talk about pregnancy acne, postpartum skincare, a lot about mental health, burnout, and morning routines that will help kind of counteract the burnout, kids and anxiety as a first-time mom, recognizing our wins. We kind of just cover everything. So without further ado, here we are with Sam Periard. Thank you so much.
Oh, look at you now. You're all right.
Yeah, so I'm a speaker and a podcaster, and I have a coaching business that also I'm kind of in limbo with right now, which has been an interesting thing since having my daughter. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm a mom and a wife, and kind of just really trying to embrace motherhood over these last 9 months since my daughter was born, after being in a lot of resistance around it, which I don't really like to admit out loud, but here we are.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
motherhood changes everything. I feel like I had a podcast with my daughter that it got dropped. This one, obviously, picking it back up. Mm-hmm. And I had YouTube channels before with my son, and they got dropped. Mm-hmm. Motherhood just changes everything.
It does. You change so much when you become a mom. Obviously, I changed so much when I had my son, and then 6 years later have my daughter, and I feel like a completely different person, but I also feel extremely grounded right now, which was never wasn't my story for a really long time with my son. I felt like I was really in fight or flight for years until I really started getting grounded in myself and started taking care of myself better and mitigating my anxiety and all of that, and started to truly just find myself.
Totally. Mm-hmm. I feel like second child comes with a lot of peace and calm, and I'm just waiting for that other shoe to drop where that second child crazy comes in, because I know it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Especially we both have older sons and younger daughters, so as those little girls grow up chasing their brothers, as they're bound to do, and for you actually have that 6-year gap, so everything he's doing at 12, she's going to be doing at 6.
I know.
Which is kind of terrifying.
It's crazy. I know. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I have people who have 2 under 2, or like you, for example, 3 and then 6-7 months old. 6 months?
6 months.
Yeah. It's kind of like a closer age gap. So they're almost like one after the other out of the house when they're 18. Yeah. But I have 6 more years of that. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God. But then other times I'm like, this is awesome, because I don't know if I'm going to be ready to be done being a mom when he's not done being a mom, but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think about that often, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get too far with just a random conversation, today's whole episode is about expectations of motherhood and how society has expectations for us, but then we also put pressures and stuff on ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I don't think this is all going to be covered in one episode, because I've got just so many thoughts about this. But I was really excited to have Sam on for this, so that we can actually have another voice, not just my own. I love giving my opinions, but sometimes it's nice to hear somebody else's. So we're kind of going to work through some of the stages. So I wanted to start with the expectations of pregnancy. We always have those expectations of being active. I don't know what yours were. I assumed that I was going to be rock climbing still. I felt like I had cute little outfits, especially running a YouTube channel. I was like, I'm going to show everybody how fun it is to be pregnant. Yeah. And then from literally the minute I found out at 2 weeks of this is okay. And then for the next 9 months, I was like, get me out of here. I hate pregnancy. Yeah. If I didn't have to do this, if I knew it was like this, I wouldn't do it ever again. Mm-hmm. So what was your reality? Well, what were your expectations of pregnancy versus your realities?
So my expectations of pregnancy were, I don't really remember my expectations with my son, but I do remember I think my expectations honestly met what the reality was with my son. Okay. Because with my son, I was wanting it so bad, and I knew that it was going to be hard. I guess I didn't expect to gain so much weight. I gained 60 pounds with him.
I did with my son too.
Yeah. Like, I was so huge.
And so much more in the face. My daughter, I was like more belly.
I was all like legs with my son.
Oh.
Just like tubes baloney, honestly. It was just like a long, thick tube of baloney. And like my cankles were hanging over my shoes.
Oh no. I'm like, it's Jessica. I'm here.
Yeah, that's me.
I thought about that though.
That was me. Yeah, I swelled so much. And actually, with him though, I actually really enjoyed being pregnant. I wasn't sick really. I wasn't itchy. I had restless legs, and I had like a couple weird cravings and stuff, but I was okay.
Okay.
With my daughter though, that pregnancy was hell on earth. And I hated it so much. And if I never had to go through that again, I'd be fine. I was itchy, so itchy. Like, I would rather, and I threw up.
Like just on the belly or everywhere?
Mostly my belly.
Okay.
It's like so itchy. If a one cat hair touched me,
oh my gosh,
I was just like, it's over. This is the worst day of my life. And then and I threw up for the first probably 26 weeks, and then like periodically till I gave birth. Like not just a blip, like a cell buix straight into the toilet.
That is awful.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Did you have that like hyperjuries or whatever it's called, where it's like you puke the whole time?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh.
They're like, this is just who you are.
This was special to you.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I did have to take a pill, and if I did not take that pill, it was hell. It was so bad.
Yeah, she had something too.
Yeah, I took the pill because and then I would only throw up once a day. But
nice.
And it was still everything. It was the entire contents of the day left, right? And I'd pee my pants every single time I would throw up. You know contact dermatitis when you get a rash?
Yeah.
I have that. I had that. Not have. I'm not I have that. Yeah, just leaves. Just has a rash from peeing their pants so much. I'm like, oh, cool. I need diaper cream. Awesome.
Definitely not what you expected.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
So that kind of moves into the next thought of like, how did that affect your mental health?
It was okay. I cried a lot, but my son, he was going to daycare a couple times a week, and he was in school a little bit. So I guess for some of it, I got to rest a lot, which makes me also not want to have another kid, because if I did, then I would not be getting that rest. Like, I don't think I could survive. If I went through a pregnancy like I did with my daughter and couldn't rest as much as I did, I would be so dead. Yeah. My iron was so low. So I don't know which one they count. Hemoglobin, maybe, I don't know. Okay. But something, and it's supposed to be, okay, these stats are not right. So please, if you can, don't DM me about it. Just kidding. But the stats, you're supposed to be like 132 or something.
Okay.
Mine was a 3.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, my doctor sat me down. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no.
Are you functioning?
I'm like, no. But I just thought that was normal.
Yeah.
She's like, Sam, you should not be driving right now. She's like, I very much advise you to go get a hamburger right now, because you should be fainting. And I was like, well, I see stars when I stand. She's like, yeah, this isn't good.
Was this with both pregnancies or just the second?
I did have low iron with both, but I didn't take a regular prenatal with my daughter. I took one that didn't have iron in it, because I have a really bad reaction to, what's it called? Man-made iron. like
artificial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's actually, fun fact, the iron you get in those pills is synthetic. Synthetic, that's the word. So it's actually the same iron, like if you were to shave iron off of a crane. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe like minerals from the ground, like eating a rock.
Literally. So if you were to go and like scrape some iron off of a crane, that's what that is.
Nice.
And what happens is it oxidizes in your liver, basically creates rust and creates inflammation, and that's what gave me acne after I had my son. So I'm like, I'm not having that.
So what you're saying is that I need a liver detox.
Yeah.
Right now.
So take beef liver, like but don't like get the pills.
Oh,
desiccated liver. It sounds disgusting, but you just down the hatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have a taste?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll send you a link to a good one.
Because I take iron pills every single day.
Does it? And
So-
how do you find your like skin?
My skin's actually improved with it.
It looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, years and years and years of scarring.
Same. I have it too.
Yeah.
Mine's just like over this last year has really just started to clear up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Makes me optimistic for 40 because I felt like by 30 I was gonna have no more acne, and I still did a little bit, and then the scarring has just settled in so deep. But by 40 I'm like, I'm gonna be able to afford those treatments to get it fixed.
Yeah.
But I also kind of love the acne scars now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Embrace
become
them.
part of the character of my face.
Yeah, absolutely.
And-
No, yeah, every scar tells a story, and you know, and people don't understand too when you're going through an acne journey, because I had literally cystic acne. I couldn't even smile. Like, it hurt so bad. And I never had that until after I had my son. So
oh no.
yeah, ever. Like, I would get one here and there when I had my period or something, but that's it.
So you had like the pregnancy and then the acne.
Yeah.
Mine cleared up during my pregnancies.
Yeah.
But like, I'm prepared mentally for it to come back after I'm done breastfeeding. But it never came back as bad. But I knew how bad it was. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be awful.
It probably, like, honestly, I went on a deep dive. Like, I'm one of those people that's very obsessive, so I will find a solution. I will figure it out. So it was so bad, and then I found this clear stem in the use.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So they have on their website. I used some of their products. They're amazing, but they're from the States.
Expensive.
Yeah, and if they were in Canada, I would have used them.
Yes.
But they have
I've been ordering from them a couple times.
Yeah.
Actually.
But even further, just go on their website. They have a pore clogging ingredients list. So you can, I think they even have a scanner now. You can scan your makeup, your all your products to see if they have pore cloggers, because if the molecular structure of the product is bigger than your pore, and especially if you're acne prone or you have like a sensitivity, then you're gonna get a zit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to go look at that. I love when a website has like an information education segment. It's not just product.
Yeah.
Like, give me the blog, give me stuff like that. Like, that scanner sounds incredible.
Yeah. So I did that, and then so every single thing that I put on my face is, if it's not just non-comedogenic, it has no pore cloggers in it.
Okay.
So my entire routine has, like, it's amazing. It's cleared my skin. Plus, I eat.
Yeah, your skin is gorgeous.
Thank you. It was not like this though.
Wow.
I should pull up some pictures from a couple years ago, but I wouldn't even take a picture without a filter.
Yeah.
Because I was so like ashamed of it, which is sad. I'm sad for that girl that I was.
know.
Like, because I was just so embarrassed about it all, and I would just cover it and cover it and cover it with makeup, and it wasn't good. But then my whole routine now has like helped my skin so much, and I feel really comfortable, and I can go makeup free now, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling.
It is.
I feel like people who've never had to deal with it will never get it. So yeah, expectations of pregnancy, they're always going to be different for everybody. But I feel like changing who you follow on social media when you're pregnant is super, super important.
Yes.
And sometimes it's motivational, but when there's so much stuff out of our control, like acne or whatever, it's really hard.
It is. And you know, even just past pregnancy, like into motherhood, following a lot of content creators on TikTok and stuff who just seemingly have like a perfect life. Obviously there's always something deeper going on. Like, we don't know their story, but I compared myself a lot to like huge creators because like their houses are perfect and white and they are all wearing beige.
I know.
Like, we're getting the like $10 bag of thrift store stuff, because why would I buy something that is $30 for my child? He gonna wreck it.
I hate
Day
buying
one.
brand new. Yeah, you said your daughter is already like 9 to 12.
She's in 2T.
Or 2T, and she is 9 months. Yeah.
Yeah. I got her a little bikini off of Amazon. It's 2T.
That's so cute. So, labors probably were painful.
Yeah, so my labor with my son was 50 hours.
50.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You were induced?
Yep.
How far overdue were you?
I was not overdue, but
Okay.
with both of my kids, they're like, you're gonna have a C-section, because I was so huge. Because my kids are literally giants.
Yeah.
Compared to me too, because like I have a really short torso. It's like this big. No, it's like that big.
I know, between my ribs and my hips, I've got like such a small
I have no
gap.
space. I can touch my rib to my hip. Like, literally.
Pilates, they're like, bring your left hip. You're like, it's there.
It's to it. It's grinding against it, actually.
I can go no further.
Yeah, so the day after my due date, they induced me with him starting... Okay, so start to finish, it was actually 49 hours.
For emotional labor, it rounded up to 50.
Something like that. Yeah, literally. So they started my induction at like 6 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, so 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and I had him Friday morning at 5:32. Yeah. Okay, so however many hours that is.
Too many.
Too many hours. Yeah.
Did you have an expectation going into it? Did you have like...
I thought it was going to be so fast. I'm like, having a baby today.
And was that before you had the induction or like leading up to
both, all of it.
General.
I just they were like, okay, well, we'll start your induction. You know, we have to. And I had hypertension with him too, so they were like, yeah, we have to. And he's huge, and you're probably gonna have a C-section. Actually, I didn't know if he was a boy or a girl. And then when I went in, I was like, sweet, I'm having a baby today. Like, us meet my baby today. Wow.
So naive,
yeah.
So naive.
And then after laboring, and I went like 27 hours without an epidural, or 30 hours or something crazy without an epidural. And then I was in so much pain. I was crying and I was in so much pain. And the doctors were like, okay, you should get an epidural now, or it's going to be a few hours. And my contractions with both kids were very long and very hard. Like, with my son, they clocked one of my contractions at 12 minutes and 42 seconds. I will never forget that. It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
One contraction. And then it was like, I had like a 10-second break, and it was going again. And I did that for 27 hours.
That's brutal.
Who does that? That's so stupid.
Did you have, like, was there a pressure that was on yourself of like, I'm going to do this med-free kind of thing?
Yes.
How did that feel after you had after you gave birth and everything? Were you just happy that he was here, or were you feeling guilty or any like shame about the way you gave, like, not the way you gave birth?
Yeah, like horrible. Yeah. Shame on you.
This was supposed to be in water surrounded by lilies.
Yeah, literally, and I shouldn't have screamed. Actually, I didn't really scream with him. I was in so much pain I couldn't. You know, it's interesting. After I got the epidural, I had guilt about everything. Like, I had guilt about everything with my son. So yeah, I felt bad. I didn't get the labor that I wanted, but one thing that was really anchoring me was like, you know, you cannot control that. You cannot control your birth experience no matter what. Like, you have to give it over to the universe. You genuinely do. And I was not really in that state of mind. I was really in a controlling state of mind. I was only 24 too. Like 23, just turned 24. Yeah. And so many life changes, which is a whole other story. But yeah, I felt some guilt about it. I felt some shame, but my doctor was really good. She's like, you don't get a cookie for not getting an epidural. Mm-hmm. She's like, you get a baby at the end of this, and you need to be able to get through it. And then with my epidural, I was able to rest a little bit, but my epidural was high. So I didn't love the fact that I could not feel my legs after at all. Oh. I could feel the pushing, but I didn't really feel the ring of fire with him at all. With my daughter, everything, because I did get an epidural, but it was really light, and it like kind of stopped working. Yeah. And it was not very long. Mm-hmm. So it was barely any pain management, and it was it hurt so bad.
I know. And that kind of experience makes you think of the people that give birth in cars. And you're like, I would love like a spontaneous labor or delivery, but then you experience the pain of it, you're like, maybe it wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Well, and with her, I delivered her head. So she was sunny side up until, like, she was still sunny side up when I was getting induced. And she started to flip as I was pushing her out. So I would have delivered her sunny side up, which would have been fine, but she started to flip. So her head kind of, like, delivered sideways. And I felt, God, did I ever feel that? And I screamed so loud. I was swearing at everybody, which was not my story with my son. Yeah. Just unhinged. And I was squatting. And then she got stuck. Her shoulders got stuck. And they're like, you need to stop pushing. And I was like, I can't. Stop. I was like, I can't. And then he's like, hey, and I just see this doctor just all up in my area, like pushing and twisting her. And that hurt so bad. Yeah. I screamed bloody murder. I've never screamed that loud in my life.
That is
It was mangled.
It truly is traumatic. Like,
It hurt so bad.
yeah, that's a physical, but it's also a bit like an emotional trauma.
It is.
Especially when it's not what you wanted. It's not the birth that you thought you were going to get. And then to go through all of that.
Yeah. With her, though, I actually really had no expectations, and it was okay.
That's good.
It was painful, though, and I don't know what it is. I wonder if being induced is more painful than like just not, because it's not gradual.
No, and I've been told that it's way more intense. When I had my first, I did a lot of research when I realized I was going to have to get induced. And yeah, everyone was like, don't fight it. Just get the epidural. And when we went in, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I was debating, like, no, just try and get through. And I thought of the what ifs. Like, what if this goes on for another 12 to 15 or more hours? Get the epidural now. And I'm so glad I did, because it took us about 3 hours before the guy could even come do it. And by that point, I was like, I need it. I need it so
much. I really loved the laughing gas. Did you?
I hated it.
Lots of people hate
it.
I love it.
It was so tough for me to, like, inhale. And also, so redheads have the higher pain tolerance, and they don't react to pain medication very well. So we need way more of it.
Oh my God.
So the laughing gas did nothing. I had 2 shots of morphine. They did nothing. And then I just had to wait for the epidural.
Wow.
And then it came in, and it sounds like it was like a light version, like what you had. And by the time it came to pushing, I could feel everything. It was as if I hadn't. So it basically gave me napping time.
Yeah.
And then with my daughter, they gave me a fast one, because I was progressing so fast. And she just, like, I didn't feel as much pain, thank God, because again, the doctor was just in there with both hands, trying to move
all
around,
up in your
sunny side up again.
Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, I'm like, how much stuff can fit in there? Like,
I know. Oh my God.
why am I paying for coat check?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Oh my God.
I didn't know I could get the whole arm up there.
That's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, that's so painful.
Yeah. I have a few. I did post it on my Instagram story once, but I have a few. I really wanted my husband to film the birth, but he felt weird about it, so he didn't. But I have a picture of her coming out, which I might have shown a lot of people that. Like 2 seconds into meeting, you want to see? Like, why am I like this? I don't know. But
I love birth pictures.
Yeah, I'm like, here, you should probably see this.
Yeah.
Hasn't shaved because haven't been able to see it since
part
23
of my personality.
weeks.
Have you seen her?
Would you like to see my daughter? It's her head coming out of my vagina. Yeah. But then he's got a lot of pictures or videos of me in labor. Oh my God, I was in so much pain. It wasn't, and then when my epidural stopped and I was like right back where I was a couple of hours ago, I was like, it hurt so bad. I cried so much. And when they check you, it hurts so bad. Yeah. I hate that. If I don't think I'm having more, but if I do, I'm telling them to stop checking me. Like, just stop. When I'm ready to push, I know. Yeah. And they're like, well, we'll check you. And I'm like, no, the baby's coming. Yeah. I'm pushing now. Bye. Yeah. Get out of there. Because I think you can tell them.
Absolutely. I argued with my doctors a little bit, and it was good enough because they were able to give me information on why they wanted to do it. And they never tried to do anything without consent, which is good. Yeah. But yeah, the hospital I was at was really good. But I don't know, were you at a place that they just said, okay, we're going to do this? Or did they ask you?
They did ask. Okay. But I actually really loved my nurses this time. There was a very big difference in the care that I got with my son versus my daughter.
And a good difference?
Very. Yeah. I think some of the nurses retired because it was 6 years ago, right? 6.5 years ago now. So I think that there's a lot of nurses our age who were just incredible this time, because I really struggled with breastfeeding. I struggled with a lot of things, and I just was super vocal about it this time. And they're like, who cares? Don't do it. If you hate breastfeeding, don't do it.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
did that change your mental health after your daughter versus your son? Yeah. Just having, you felt more supported?
Yep, absolutely. And also just, really, I'm really sure of myself now as a mom. I was not at all. I was questioning my intuition. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no support because we'd moved from Calgary up there. And just, brand new town. I had no one. And we were actually living with my in-laws. So it was just a lot of changes, and I was not in my element. I wasn't around my family really. I hadn't really been around his family yet. I had, but not in any scale.
Not living together.
Yeah, because my husband left the patch. It was like a whole thing. So we were living with them, and it was just a lot. It was really bad. I never want to go back to that mental place again. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so real. I have one specific memory that still brings me to tears if I think about it too much. And every time somebody talks about postpartum depression or like just even that first year postpartum, and they're like, it's getting hard. I'm like, we're watching you, because I remember this one moment and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, it's crazy how like a 5-minute mental space can be the scariest part of your life.
Yeah. Totally. That's so real. I had so many thoughts. Like, I have journals and journals and journals of me trying to convince myself that my family actually needs me and my family actually wants, that I'm worth it. Oh my gosh, my ears are ringing right now. But like, my family isn't better off without me, that I shouldn't drive off of a bridge. Like, I thought so many times I should just pack up and leave because they're way better off without me. I'm a horrible mother. I'm terrible, even though I'm literally giving my heart, my soul to my baby. Yeah. Right? He's completely taken care of. He is loved beyond measure. I'm getting up. I'm doing all the things. I've never once neglected him. Like, there's on paper, I was doing nothing wrong. Yeah. Arguably above and beyond too much. Like, just way too much. Gave my entire soul to him. Yeah. Right? But I did not feel like that. I felt like I was the worst piece of crap mother, that he deserved way better. Yeah. It was horrible. I hated it. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it similar to like your daughter?
No, my daughter's good. Yeah. I've been a little like this, but I've been really using all the tools in my toolbox to just mitigate it all and understanding what it is. So when I have those like down days and stuff, and I really do understand its hormones. It's not the end of the world. I'm not a bad mom. I'm actually doing great. I know I'm doing great. So I've been pretty good. I had like a month where I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. But she sleeps way better. She's just easier too. And I'm more confident as a mom. So I feel like that it's been good.
Yeah, the confidence as a mom is huge because I don't think very many people can go into the first year of motherhood in general. Yeah. But personally, I'm finding that the first year of the baby is hard. Yes. But I don't plan to have more, so I don't know if that's going to come up again. Yeah. But, yeah, I feel like that first year is so mentally draining, even though the child is easier. Yeah. Or, quotes. But
it is. It's so mentally draining.
Yeah. And because you're taking care of another person. Like 2 people now. One that can talk and tell you what they want or don't want. Like,
And one thing that, like, I was kind of talking about this on my Instagram yesterday, because with my son, I just did not expect to be so tired. I was so beyond exhausted that, like, I thought I was gonna die. I genuinely thought I would die from sleep exhaustion. Yeah. Or whatever, sleep
deprivation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like devastated by that. When people told me they were tired and they didn't have kids, I was so angry. I was like, how did you say that? You know nothing. You don't know shit about being tired. Oh, you're tired from your 8-hour work day? Yeah. Get bent. Yeah.
I was you didn't work out?
Oh.
Cool. You have free time and you're tired?
Oh, wow. Cry me a river. I ate 400 calories and slept 45 minutes last night, so...
I remember waking up at 3 a.m. one time to nurse my son, and I'm like crying, and he was like so sad. So he latches finally, and I go to the fridge. I'm carrying him in one arm, and I'm like eating a burger that my mother-in-law had made me and put in the fridge,
just cold,
just eating it cold. Yeah, and like I was like, I'm sad right now, but this is the level of accomplishment because I'm feeding the baby and myself.
Yeah, literally.
And it was the first time I'd eaten in like forever.
Yeah, so long. I know those, and especially those first few months, you're just like, if you got 400 calories in a day, and you didn't like faint or like pee your pants or poop yourself or something like that, like you're good. Yeah, like that's really good.
Yeah. So how did your mental health and like everything with the birth and postpartum stuff, how did that change your parenting?
With in general?
Yeah, so like what kind of parent were you imagining yourself to be, and then how did that actually come up to be?
That's a really good question. Well, how I expected to be as a mom was just somebody who was really present, and I've really accomplished that, honestly. I would say that the first couple of years of my son's life, I would say that I disassociated a lot more, and I was always like kind of elsewhere in my brain, but with him, he would have never known. So I don't know. Can you ask that question again?
Just how we expected ourselves to be as parents versus how we actually are, based bringing in the idea that like what we've experienced in birth and then the pregnancy in the first few months postpartum, how that changed it. Because I truly think that if you have an easier birth and a supportive partner, you're going to show up so differently as mother.
Yeah, true. I think that I really expected it to be easy, and I expected to be really, really patient and never get angry and never yell and never do any of that. But that's just not true. That's just not my story. I do get impatient, but have I ever gotten patient. Like, I have had to work on that virtue so deeply. And my kids are so secure with me and so attached. And I think that I really worried I wasn't worthy of being a mom. And I have mother wounds. Like, I don't see my mom. I don't know my mom really. So I have some mother wounds that I've really worked through. But I think like I just expected it to be fun and patient and kind and loving, and I do really think that I'd show up that way. So
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I feel like that first baby or that first year, maybe because maybe not everyone's having more than one kid, but that first kid kind of teaches you a little bit, and then by the time that second one comes around, you actually are like, okay, I almost gave up on being this version of me, but here I am.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I'm actually being this. Like, it's possible.
And I thought that I would just still be myself, but it's so true what they say that, when a baby is born, so is a mother. And you don't really realize what that actually looks like until you have your baby. And when I had him and I became a mom, I changed so much, and it was so isolating. And that was hard for me because none of my friends have kids.
None.
Like, none. I have one friend who has a kid, and I had to make mom friends in our town, which has been amazing for me. But it was so isolating because, like, people stop inviting you to places. People stop calling. People just think you're expired. Like, it literally feels like that. I know they don't
because
think
you're no longer fun.
Yeah, but arguably, I'm more fun now. Just kidding. I don't stay up late at all, ever.
I know. I'm fun until about 8:30.
Yeah,
and it's like okay.
I just, like, close the doors.
Yeah. Like, this is your issue that you guys just aren't fun yet. Yeah, I don't know. I always wanted to be a mom since I was a little girl. Like, I basically raised my little brother. I knew it was for me. I knew it always was going to be for me. I feel like when you get to experience what you wanted, partly like that manifestation, but also being like, hey, the universe is always looking out for you. Like, we're going to make sure that you are taken care of and that you actually are going to get your dreams.
I hope so.
Yeah. Like, well, you're already kind of living it, right? Like, you've got your kids, you're being the mom, the fun mom, and you've been able to show up with other projects and stuff too.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to talk about that. Like, how are you carving out time for everything? Because you've had so many different businesses, like you said, the coaching, you've had your podcast, and now you've got the co-host podcast. You've had 2 kids in that time, and still showing up as a wife and a mom. And, like, that's a lot. And you've got a dog.
Yeah,
like,
and a cat.
Oh my gosh.
It's so much.
There's so much.
Yeah. So this is not the answer that everybody wants. You have to do the hard thing. And the hard thing is being extremely freaking disciplined. And that is something that I'm really good at. I'm really good at being disciplined. If you want something in this life, it's not easy. And for me, I get time for myself early in the mornings. So I had to train myself to get up at the ass crack of dawn. And so I do. And I get up every single morning and I write gratitude. Because when I did have my son, I completely lost myself. I was not this person then. I was completely lost in motherhood. I did not, every time he called me, I would just like, my fight or flight just kicked in and I would sweat. And I didn't want to, I hesitate to say this because it's not that I didn't want to hold him, but I wanted somebody else to just do it. I was so burnt out to the point that like, even a weekend with my husband and he was at my in-laws never even filled my cup. It was not enough. Like, I was so burnt. And, it just kind of comes down to that, like, it's not that we need more rest in life. We need more life. We need something to live for that's outside of our families. And maybe that's not for everybody, because there's a lot of women out there, like the trad wife trend, who they love it, and that's what fills their cup, right? And I absolutely adore being a mother, but I'm still Sam on the side. And so for me, like, I do the hard things. Like, I get up really early in the morning, and I drag my ass out of bed in the mornings. It's so hard, but I just like do this thing. My alarm goes off. I don't use my phone. I don't have a phone in the bedroom ever. And I just like go, okay, 3, 2, 1, and I just shoot myself up. It sucks so bad, but then I have a really slow morning routine, which fills me up so much, and then I'm ready for my kids. I'm excited to be with them. I'm the mom that I want to be, because I was so snappy. I was so rude first thing in the morning, and that's not fair to him. He deserves better than that. So that, and then I just started, jumped directly into an MLM when my son was like 16, 18 months old, and I did that pretty successfully for a while. But it's culty, and that's a whole it's culty, it's toxic. That I'm like healing from trauma from that, but
I literally have it in my Instagram bio, like, DM for collabs and brackets, I will not join your MLM.
Yeah, do not ever ask me to be in an MLM. No. But I did that really successfully, actually.
You're learning skills that you can put towards something better.
It's so cringy, though. Like, it's so cringy.
You're not alone. Don't worry. I feel like if you haven't joined at least one MLM...
Are you even a mom?
Are you even a mom?
Like, are you even alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I remember just being like, okay, this is culty as fuck, and I was working like 12 hours a day and being a mom, and then I burnt myself out really bad again. Took a whole summer off, but I was podcasting as well, so I took that summer off of podcasting, and then I just really focused on the podcast, and I would record when my son was taking a nap, and then I would record and then he stopped napping. So I would just find pockets of time to do it, and I was really, really, really consistent with it. I built my entire coaching business without daycare, without help, and was able to scale it, did everything, and then would find pockets of time to hop on Zooms. I did this live on Facebook every single Tuesday, which I think I'm going to bring it back. But I think I'm going to do it on TikTok. And I've been doing a live on TikTok every Tuesday again, which has been really good. But I used to do Mom Tip Tuesday. And that's like how I really built my business, gained a lot of trust, and built the podcast out as well. And I would just like take a mindset thing that I did that helped me get from like burnt out or from anxious to more regulated. And it just like really popped off with, you know, it helped my podcast grow. It helped a lot of things. It helped me so much, helped me connect to other moms and build a lot of trust that way. And I don't have a huge following, but I was able to really scale my business that way. And it was just like those little tiny things that I just did that were for me, that gave me purpose outside of my family for them. Like they're my why. So yeah, it's like you have to do the hard things, but you cannot do it at the expense of your mental health. So I do things like I don't look at screens in the evenings. I have only red lights at night. I read at night now, which I stopped reading self-help because
I've seen some good stuff about that. Like, put down the self-help
and pick up smut.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing about that too, though, it's like, if you think of, because I know you're big on, like, your whole podcast was about manifesting, right? But when you're reading self-help, you're keeping yourself in that place of, I'm a person who needs help. I'm a person who needs to fix myself, so it may be the answers in the next book. But the version you're trying to be is the person who's doing the work / has done the work. So you need to put down that book, do it. And maybe the version of you in the future is reading smut.
Yeah, totally. That is my future version. Like, so and the best way to have the life that you want is to live inside the life that you want. So if you want to be happy, at peace, relaxed, what are the things that are going to do that? What are the moving parts for that? So, you know, in the summer, like, I'm reading smut at night. I'm not reading self-help unless I feel really pulled to something. Yeah.
Specific books are still so good. Like, there's some really good, like, nuggets in there.
Yeah, totally. And one book that I pick up quite often, just like random, I'll just be like, hey, universe, give me the page I need, is A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Have you ever read it?
No.
Oh my God, you must.
Okay. Who's it by?
Why can't I remember?
I have Google.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yes, there's that thing. But A Happy Pocket Full of Money, and you know, it's just, it's amazing. It changed my life. But there's lots of books that changed my life. But sometimes I'll just pick that up in the mornings, because I do think that you should fill your brain, like your subconscious mind is wide open right when you wake up. So that I do not look at my phone until I've truly given to myself. I don't put myself in anyone else's world until I'm feeling like high vibe. So it's like I eat and then I have coffee and then I write in my journal and just write whatever. Usually I write at least 10 things that I'm grateful for and then just brain dump whatever I want. And then I'll sometimes pick up a book that I want to read and I'll just like read a couple pages, or I won't, and then I'll just go on my phone or something like that after that. But
just time for you.
Yeah, and just really pour into that.
Yeah. What time are your kids awake?
So pretty much 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time are you awake?
Ideally, I like to be up at 5:30, but since having my daughter, I'm giving myself a lot more grace. I'm still so tired. Like, it takes a long time. So I'm doing 6 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like 5 or 5:30 if I can. But I will not burn myself out to do that. And then if I'm like, okay, I'm really tired, I will skip it. And then I just like prep my brain to know that I'm getting up with the kids right away. And as soon as they get up, I'm up. But I need that coffee and that food in the morning before I can deal with anybody.
I've been starting with a protein shake. So I have my water, protein shake, and then my coffee.
Yeah.
And I've been noticing that it's just changed.
Yep.
Even how I respond to my kids.
Absolutely. Because your body is out of fight or flight.
Yeah. I wanted to know in a more like lighthearted thing, because kids are just so insanely weird. I know we were chatting about this a little bit with just stuff my son did. I posted it on Instagram the other day. He went and pooped on the grass outside.
Yeah.
What are some of just, I know your daughter's only 9 months, but like some of just like the craziest things that they've done that you were like, I was absolutely not prepared for this as a mom?
Oh God, I have so many things, but something my son said the other day. Guess what he said?
No.
He came up to me and he's like, "Okay, you know, like the dinosaur Pachycephalosaurus."
I don't.
Okay. So, Pachycephalosaurus. My kid knew like these dinosaurs when he was 2. So obsessed. He's gifted. I don't know. But anyways, something like that.
He's an Alberta kid.
Yeah, literally. But it has this like thing on its head.
Okay.
It's like a bonehead one, whatever. It has
I can picture it.
It has this like helmet thing. He came up to me and he's like, "Mom, did you know that you can't smash a Pachycephalosaurus over the head with a frying pan? You couldn't kill it with it either." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because it has that helmet. So if you tried to smash it with a frying pan, you wouldn't be able to."
You're like, okay.
Okay.
Good cause. Yeah.
Fine.
Good thoughts.
Yeah, and then he was playing a game with his toy dinosaurs. He was making a bridge or something with these dinosaurs, and from the couch to the windowsill, and one dinosaur is here and the other one is mounting it, and I was like, okay.
Oh, because he's building the bridge.
Yeah. I was like, all right, okay, that's fine.
Oh no.
Yeah. He also pooped outside. And came in butt naked 2 seconds later. Like, so fast.
I know.
Just ripped the shit out there. Sorry. Am I allowed to say shit on your podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like mark it as E.
Yes. Okay. And he's like...
I swear.
Yeah, sorry.
My podcast is the cleanest thing about me. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I try so hard not to swear around other people, but I have a bad potty mouth. So.
One of my favorite quotes is, "My kids took my body and my mindset and my free time," or something like that. It was like my body, my mind, my money. So they're not taking the word fuck.
No,
like,
they do say it though. Mine do.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
my son so far
one does.
He did say it once, but yeah. It's funny because they use it correctly,
and I'm just not that worried about it. Like, I don't want him saying it often, and he knows he doesn't really say it anymore. But he was 2. Can I say the F word on here? Okay. He was 2, and he was like swinging on our swing set in our backyard, and there was mosquitoes, and he's like, "Oh, fucking mosquitoes, fucking buggies, fucking buggies." I was like, all right.
That's funny. You're like, yeah, you're hearing that from me.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll be like, and he's like, "Why did you say that? Why did you say fuck?"
Oh, yeah. I guess he's old enough now to, like, ask.
Yeah. So I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah.
Whatever. My mouth got washed out with soap and it didn't stop me. And the way that, and, like, unfortunately for us, if they act bad, that means that you're their safe place.
I know.
And that's just great for us. But I know. One time, my son was freaking out and I was washing a dish or something and I just went to him with the water and he just lost it even more. I was like, okay.
Sometimes when it's
My
harmless
German
stuff, I'm
grandma
like,
told me to do it. And you're just,
we're done.
she's like, just spray it in their face. So I tried it and it didn't work. He's just like,
That's so funny.
I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, I only have a couple more questions left. But I wanted to know something that you are super, super proud of as a mom. Like, is there a specific moment or something that you've developed over the last 6 years that you've been like, okay, this was really hard in the beginning, but I am so proud of how I'm showing up.
Yeah, I've actually been reflecting on this a lot, and I'm going to try not to cry because it's a lot. So I have a lot of childhood trauma, like really insane, crazy shit that, which is horrible. But a lot of things. But one thing specifically that is like kind of niche to me, I would say, is I had, when my son and I and my husband moved up there, I would stand at the front door with the diaper bag and my kid in my arms and sob and freak out because I couldn't leave my house because I had so much anxiety. Like, I would shake and cry so bad, and I felt so isolated, and I felt so alone, and I wouldn't leave. And it was like forceful, and I would panic the whole time I was in public. And now I'm just like throwing together diaper bags. Like, we're out every day. I'm not scared of it at all anymore. And so that is huge for me. And also, that's just one thing. That's just me. But also just the fact that, like, I read to my kids every day. I don't have a single childhood memory of anybody reading to me. I taught myself to read. I raised myself. I could cook a full meal at age 5. I was doing dishes at age 5, like everything. And the fact that my kid is the top of his class with reading, and he's fast. Like, he sits there and he can just whip through a book. He's 6.
That's make me cry.
Yeah.
That is absolutely something to be proud of.
Yeah. And yeah, there's just like lots of things, and how calm I am and how patient I am and all the things. Like, I've had to work on that stuff because I was not shown that at all. I was shown to get angry. It's either like, I always felt like I was in the way as a kid a lot. And like, there was no toys, there was no joy, there was no happiness, it was just pain. It was just hard. And my kids, like, I look at my living room and sometimes I'm so overwhelmed by all the toys and mess, but that's their childhood. And they crawl on me, they sit with me. I have them on my lap all the time. We're always reading, we're always together, we're always, cuddling in my bed. Like, just stuff like that I never had as a kid. You don't realize how much I mourn the little girl that I was. And I have to mother myself because I don't have that. And I just, my kids will always have me. Like, if my daughter ever has a baby, or my son ever, like, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at their house when they're pregnant. And I'm going to be, like, I'll help you at night. Like, all of that stuff.
I'm so excited to take care of them.
Yeah.
When they're like my age.
Yeah, me too.
Especially if they go through anything with motherhood or parenthood in general.
Yeah, same.
I'm so excited to show up and support. Because, yeah. Talking about like parenting your own child or your inner child, do you feel that, and this could be kind of a weird question, but do you feel guilty for the fact that your daughter's probably getting a more healed version of you than your son did in the first few years?
Honestly,
I deal with that. That's why I'm asking.
I'm sorry. So sorry you deal with that. You know what? Not really anymore. I've really worked through a lot of that because I guess there are moments sometimes, and like, I would just like forgive yourself every day. Just wake up and just be like, I showed up for you the way that I knew how, and you guys are growing together, and that's okay, right? Like, sometimes I do, like, I feel like I was just a girl when I had him.
You're so young. My mom was 24 when she had me, and then she had my sister 14 months later. And I frequently think of how she was my age when she started having the next 4 kids. She had them in 4 years. So I just can't even imagine.
It is, but you know what? It's kind of interesting because at the same time, like, he's almost like my little sidekick. Like, I had to learn so much, and I hope that when he grows up, he's just like, man, you were always there for me. And like, I have done toxic things before. I've slammed a door. Like, I've yelled. I've done things that I'm not proud of. I've done things I probably won't do to Reese. I probably won't slam her door. I haven't done that in a long time. Like, that part of me has been healed, right? But I don't know if I ever really feel guilty, because like, again, like being a mindset and a manifestation coach, this is something that like I've walked through a lot of this because my anxiety actually stems from guilt.
Okay.
And I've had 4 million panic attacks in my life. Like I would feel guilty about everything. Like if I thought I was rude in someone's house, like if I didn't bring you something, like if I didn't bring the poppies or something, or like to somebody's house when I first meet them, like I would lay in bed and be like, oh my God, I'm horrible. She probably thinks I'm the worst person. Like so disrespectful to just come showing up to someone's house empty-handed, like that kind of stuff. I used to really have that so bad, and like that again stems from my childhood. Like guilt is my so I had to walk through my shame a lot and really sit bare with it, and I've done a lot of healing, like a lot of Reiki, a lot of breath work, a lot of mindset stuff, and then a lot of my clients, like shame is something that women hold in them. It's very across the board. Shame is something that we all hold, and it just doesn't serve us. It's not a natural emotion.
No.
It isn't.
It's kind of inherent. Like, we got it from our mothers, and they got it from theirs, and it's taught. It's totally taught, and I love looking into epigenetics and stuff, and absolutely. So, like, whatever my grandma would have dealt with, those eggs were already in my mother because those eggs were there, right? So it kind of goes, I think, 3 generations. So I kind of feel, I'm not quite sure what the right word is, but I feel happy that my daughter is only getting my mom and myself, right? The rest of it is still stories and lineage, but my grandma had to go through so much, and I'm experiencing healing from that. But my daughter doesn't have to heal from that, right?
That's good.
So, and it's really exciting seeing how much my mom and I have healed.
Yeah,
right?
that's great. So, I know. I feel like I'm taking all of that on myself. Like I'm the first person to start breaking any generational trauma. Like, and it's hard because I'm the eldest sister. I do have an older brother, but I'm the eldest sister, and it's like, I don't know. Are you the oldest of the sisters?
Sort of. I'm the oldest of my mom's kids.
Right.
So there's 5 younger than me. But
so
my
you
dad's,
know.
I do have an older sister and older brother.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know what it's like. Yeah.
Yes.
So you just like, you almost naturally take on this role of being like the caretaker, the person who has to handle everybody, fix everything. That has always been like, I have this hero complex so bad. I feel like I have to fix everything all the time. Yeah. So, you know, just being the person to break generational chains it's a lot of pressure, but I feel like it's good in a way as well. Yeah. So my kids can, you know, I'm sure there's going to be things that they need to heal from that I do.
Totally.
And that's okay too. I don't feel shame about that.
No,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like less shame about the fact of that they're going to have to heal from things, and more shame about the fact that they're not going to get the exact same childhood for some reason. Like it's something I'm bringing up in therapy, and we're working through. But when you said that your anxiety stems from shame, or from guilt, was like,
same.
Exactly. Yeah. But like I haven't really thought of it in that exact like sentence structure.
Yeah. So like when you like, because there's with any emotion or like with anything, there's going to be 2 ways, or more than 2, I guess, but 2 main ways that it's going to come through. Like it's going to come through in your mind, it's going to come through in your body. So, you know, like addressing why the shame is there, like mind, right? Like, why is this actually here? And is it logical, right? If I were to see, you know, put someone else in your shoes and like give them advice, what would I say? And then just talk to yourself. But then there's also in the body, right? And that's actually where most women are stuck, because we're very smart intellectual beings, but we're very emotional beings. So in our energetic and our emotional body, like in our physical body, we feel something, right? So if you feel shame, like, or guilt, like where is that in your body, right? Like figure out where that is, and then you can start to move it through. So when you think of something that like, okay, my daughter and my son are not getting the same childhood, where is that? Like, is it in your pit? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your chest? Like truly, like where you feel that, and then just sit with it for a second and then move it out of your body. So if it's something that you need to cry, like cry with the shame, with the intention of releasing. And then like, for me, when it, like, if I'm anxious about something or I'm feeling guilt, I can like, I'll rationalize in my head, and then I'll tap into where it is in my body, and then I gotta release it. Like sometimes you gotta shake, sometimes you gotta like hit something, sometimes you need to run, you need to go for a walk, you need to cry, you need to yell, you need to whatever, right? And like, again, just like figuring out, like you can correlate it with a chakra, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And then what happens is it starts to rewire like your like the synapses or whatever it is in your brain, but also just in your body, and you'll have a different body response, right? And just being okay with what is and being okay that it's different, right? It's okay. You know, it's perfectly fine. It's actually incredible. There are two different people. You're a different person now. And, you know, you're going to show up for them with the same amount of love, and that is actually what matters the most. If their childhood is different.
And also, it's not realistic.
Yeah, it isn't.
Giving them the same thing, because like you said, they're different people.
Yeah.
Right? My therapist had given me a really great, we did like a mindfulness thing. And she was like, just come out of your body for a minute, sit above yourself, like you're a bird flying through the air. Maybe imagine you're flying over Deerfoot or like a busy highway, and there's all these cars going. Now, every single car, imagine that's one of your thoughts. So it's just driving past. You don't have to get in the car.
Yeah, totally.
And
I love
you
that.
can just, and I think about that a lot actually.
Good.
Which has been amazing. So,
because it's so easy to hyperfixate on something and then like just spiral and spiral about it. Yeah. I feel you.
So I think we're pretty much out of time, but I've got one last question, and I just wanted to know, like, what is something fun and easy that kind of gets you through every day? I know you take a lot of walks. Is there anything else that you do that could possibly help somebody listening who's...
Honestly, I have a dance party every single day. Dancing is like my therapy for sure. I love reading smut.
Yes.
But yeah, I go for a walk every day. I love that too. And then I just go with my dog. I don't take the kids usually. I'll go for walks with them. But for me, it's definitely my dog walk for sure. And then like weekly, obviously girl dinner has been just the best. It's so fun. It's really healing me a lot.
I love it. It's such a fun vibe, and like if you're listening or watching, you need to go check out girl dinner. It's just... it's one of my favorite ways to start my Thursday or my Wednesdays, because I'll go for a walk with the kids and I just plug headphones in, and I tell Marcus, I'm like, I'm putting headphones in, so if you need something, say something loud.
Yeah,
she's sitting in front of me, and I'm like, and then we just walk for like an hour.
Good. And yeah, like all you moms wear headphones, but I love it too because it's adult. It's not like everything is based around our kids when we're moms, and like I don't want to listen to Wheels on the Bus.
I know,
like I just don't.
Yeah,
let's listen to something funny where there's swears and we talk about like everything. It's just a hangout. It is, and that's really what we wanted it to be. And we really wanted to just be like girl chat. Kind of the vibe is like after midnight. You know, when after midnight, when you're just like suddenly the conversation goes from like your life to like the deepest shit.
Yes.
And like the most unhinged shit you've ever said in your life. Yeah. And, like the mosquitoes are like, and you're just like, I killed him. No, I'm just kidding. If I were to kill somebody, this is how I would do it. Just kidding. But just saying.
So true.
But yeah, so
I got a 5-step plan. Anyone want to see it?
Yeah, exactly. I did not kill a man. And I never would. Actually, we've talked about this on Girl Dinner too.
I was gonna say, I feel like you've already chatted about
I could never.
this.
I would just tie them up and duct tape them. Yeah. Just saying.
I think Amber was like, I would.
Yeah, she's like, I would do it. You just call me. I was like, yeah, right.
I would in the specific circumstances.
It would be like, yeah, it would have to be, there would be a lot of things a lot of moving parts with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's been really fun for me. And my mother-in-law comes in and babysits my kids on Tuesdays, so I get that whole day to just podcast and do my own thing, and that's just been so much fun.
That's so
I love it. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course.
This was such a good conversation. Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Sam Speaks with 2 underscores, and then on TikTok as well at Sam Speaks with 2 underscores. And then you can also follow Girl Dinner, the podcast with Sam and Amber. It's a picture of me, because there's a couple other ones that don't post. That's why we took that name. Yeah.
I'll link everything below as well. So whether you're listening or whether you're watching, it will be linked and make it nice and easy for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I am kind of leaning into, so this whole year I've been kind of on mat leave, but I work for myself. So I have been doing some brand deals and then like my Amazon stuff. But I think I am going to come out with a guide for moms for like self-care, because again, like a lot of moms have that same question you had. You know, how are you finding these pockets of time to take care of yourself? And I have become a connoisseur of just like those 5-minute things that will help you. So I think I'm going to do that. So look out for that. Yeah.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram, sarah.g.carter. Or you can find the she's doing all right on Instagram as well. Not that it's ever uploaded or posted. My bad. I'll get back onto that eventually.
It's fine.
Everything, yeah, one day I'll get back there. Everything else is linked in the description below, and that is all for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Look at you now, you're alive. Oh, look at you now, you're alright. When the night